Something to think about: how often do you spend money on other people with no expectation to ever see that money being returned? My guess is that this occurrence would be familiar to a lot of people, maybe even you, the viewer, right now. It is something in particular that I have struggled with for a really long time, and in today's video, I'm going to be explaining why wealth is attracted to people who respect money. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Reese, and today's video is going to be a bit of a deep dive into why the people who fuss over small amounts of money generally are the ones who have a lot of it. About 7 years ago, I saw a clip on YouTube of Neil deGrasse Tyson doing a talk trying to explain just how poor most people are in comparison to Bill Gates. Spoiler alert, most people are very, if not extremely poor in comparison to Bill Gates. I've left a link down in the description below to the 3-minute video because I don't want to get copy striked on my channel. But the analogy that Neil is trying to portray, or the picture that he's trying to paint, is just how much money would need to be on the ground for Bill Gates to bend over and exert the required effort to pick it up off the ground. In the video, Neil starts off by finding his own personal sweet spot. And back when the video was recorded, he says, if there's a 20-cent piece on the ground, I'm gonna bend over to pick it up. For me personally, if there was probably a 50-cent piece or higher, maybe a dollar coin, I would bend over and pick that up. Anything less, I'd look at it as just pocket change and probably wouldn't spend the time to pick it up. And where it gets interesting is when Neil scales up his net worth compared to that 20-cent piece to what Bill Gates's scenario would be, and what it would have to be $45,000 of cash sitting on the ground, like literally a pile of cash, for him to look at it and go, oh, that's worth my time and effort to bend over and pick that up. Now, like I said, the talk that Neil did was trying to illustrate just how absurdly wealthy Bill Gates is. And if you look at it from 7 years ago compared to today, that number would be even higher because Bill Gates' net worth has multiplied significantly since then. But I took a different lesson from watching this clip. The personal lesson that I took from this, however, was that if there was $45,000 in cash sitting on the ground in front of Bill Gates, I almost guarantee that he would still bend over to pick it up. If there was a $100 bill on the ground, I guarantee that Bill Gates would bend over to pick it up. And that's because he understands the value of a dollar. He understands the opportunity involved in what is sitting in front of him. Now, to build on this point of someone understanding the value of money, I want to use myself as an example because ever since I started earning money, back at the ripe age of 14, where I'm now 27 at the time of recording this video, I have always liked to keep things as even as I possibly can. If I went out for drinks with friends and one of my friends purchased me a drink, I would make sure that I buy them one in return to keep things even. I have a good friend in particular who I have a mutual agreement with, and I don't know how this started, but it's kind of stuck with me and it's stuck with him as well, and our friendship has never been better. I recently asked this friend to buy me a chocolate bar when we were out. It was worth $1. That's all, $1. And I told him that I would definitely pay him back as soon as I got to my wallet, and he looked at me and went, yeah, I guess that's the rule that we follow, but it's just $1. Like, don't really worry about it all that much. It's not the end of the world. And I sat there and I went, this is the fundamentals. This is the principle that we have followed for such a long period of time now, and it's worked so well. It's not the fact that it's $1, it's the principle of the rule that we've set for ourselves that's kept our friendship at this level when it comes to finance, that we never really are on edge with each other when it comes to spending money around each other. And what it's done for us is made money a non-issue in our friendship. And it's a big deal because I have a lot of other friends, not current friends, but I used to have a lot of other friends where I'd go out and they would see that I'm getting up to go and buy another drink. I'm using the drink scenario as just a simple example. There are lots of other scenarios that definitely are applicable, but I've gone up to get a drink and my friend's gone, oh, you're getting the next round, grab me a beer, and they have never returned the favor. Now, the first time, sure, I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna pay for that beer and give them their drink because I'm having a good time and I want them to have a good time with me as well. However, after the second, third, fourth time, you kind of sit back and go, I'm not gonna do that this time because the favor has never been returned. And it's something, again, that might seem petty, but stay with me here, because when I talk a little bit more about the rules of how people respect money, it should make a lot more sense into why this is something that definitely does add up, why it's something that's worth talking about, and why I'm talking about it today. People who don't respect money label this type of attitude as standoffish or someone being like a tight ass, which sure, they can label it however they want, but from what I've learned and what has treated me well when it comes to handling finance and how I interact with other people, and even myself in the own disciplines I have within my own financial routines, it's treated me really well, and keeping everything even and on the same playing field really does make it a hell of a lot less stressful to manage money and interact with other people. Now, there are a few other things I want to touch on, like I just said, so let's go through them one by one. In no particular order, I'm going to go through the best ways you can respect money. And I'm going to start with my favorite being tracking your income and your expenses. This is something I have done for a really long time now, and something that I definitely will continue to do into the future. Knowing what goes into your bank account and definitely what is coming out of your bank account is paramount to you making good financial decisions. I've actually made a video and linked it down in the description below, which details how I break down tracking my expenses and my income step by step. I've also made the template available for free to be able to be downloaded for anyone who would be interested in using it themselves. Feel free to use that resource as you wish. And I'm not going to talk too much more about tracking your income and expenses, because everything you need is contained within that video, and I highly encourage you to watch it if you've been looking for something like this, like a resource like this, that will definitely be beneficial to help you on your financial journey. And while I've got you here, I'm going to quickly plug myself. If you can, just quickly hit that like and subscribe button down below. I really do appreciate the support. It definitely goes a long way for the channel, and it does not go unnoticed. Number 2, being the second best way you can respect your money, is to keep your eyes open for opportunities to save on expenses that you would already be paying for. This could include things like shopping around for better deals like your phone plan. And I've made a video discussing this in depth again, how I review what I'm paying every single year and how I could go about finding a discount, a new incentive for a sign up with a different carrier, and potentially actual savings by negotiating with my current carrier. It's an important topic to definitely understand, because this can apply to many different bills that you pay, and it's something that absolutely is worth taking the time out in doing. I've talked about it in other videos as well. I have saved thousands of dollars, like thousands, if not tens of thousands, and it definitely will be tens of thousands over the course of a career, in just learning how to use websites that offer these types of discounts, learning how to do some quick research into what offers and promotions are being made available. It is something not to be underestimated, and definitely something to be followed. The whole concept here is to capitalize on any incentives and discounts being offered by companies that you would be paying money towards to use their services in the first place. There's not much more to it. That is pretty much it in a nutshell. The only other aspect of this rule of thumb is to make sure that you pay your bills in full and on time. The third way to respect money is to reinvest what you can, especially if you do not need access to the money right now. This is something that you should treat as if it was never there if you're in the fortunate enough position to be able to do this, and just continue to allow your investment to grow. This one is pretty easy to follow, because once you put it in autopilot, it's something that just gets done in the background. You don't really notice that it's taking place, and over time, it should, like I said, just continue to grow to the point that it actually becomes something that you can rely on potentially in your future. In my circumstance, I get paid dividends from the share market, and I also get paid a small amount of interest from my crypto holdings, and I am fortunate enough to not need access to this money right now. So what I do with it is I reinvest it every single time I am paid those installments. And every year that I allow it to continue to grow, it just compounds for my future. The fourth way to respect money is to pay off your debts at a faster rate than the minimum repayment requirements. This goes for any type of debt. If that debt or loan is accruing interest, you need to prioritize paying this down. And I know it's not always as simple as just put more money towards the loan or outstanding credit card debt. Just understand that when you can, this should definitely be a priority. Credit card companies across 2020 raked in $176 billion, like billion with a B. I had to double check that statistic twice, because if you ranked them as a country in the world in terms of how much they earn in GDP, they would rank 53rd on the scale. That is terrifying. Having debt of some sort in general has become way too normal in our society, and it is something that I am very cautious of. It really does shock me how many people have taken out some type of loan or credit card and actually been pinged with a fee because they've not paid their minimum repayments on time. They have spent more than the card allows them to spend. They have overdraft fees, which is similar to the spending more than they have. The point is they've been pinged with some stupid fee that they never should have been pinged with, and they've just handed money over to the bank for free, and they look at it and it's like, oh, it's not that much. It's just a $200 fee for this month, which in my opinion is a lot of money. To them, they seem a little bit more careless. The point I'm trying to make is that it definitely all adds up. And if you look at it on the scale of all the credit card companies around the world in 2020, raking in $176 billion, like, holy crap, man, that is a lot of money that people are losing for no reason at all. Over time, it definitely all adds up, and it is something that people should take seriously. And finally, the last item on my list today is to be consistent with your financial plans and goals. If you want to put $50 every single time you're paid into an emergency fund, do it. If you want to save a percentage of your take-home pay every single time you are paid, make it happen. And then once you reach these goals, for whatever reason you're doing it, don't stop there. Build these habits because they will carry you through your life and they will serve you well over time. This is one of the most important rules of respecting money, because once you get the fundamentals down, it just becomes second nature. It becomes part of your daily life, and once you start doing it, you will never look back. It's just like learning a new skill or putting time into a hobby that you have. Over time, you are definitely going to get better at it, especially when it becomes more fun and enjoyable to do it. As the numbers go up in your bank accounts, as your investments grow over time, you're going to sit there and go, wow, I'm really starting to make a dent in this mortgage. Wow, I'm really achieving my financial goals of saving X amount per year. Wow, I can go on a holiday and I don't really need to think about where that money's going to come from because I've already future-proofed and put money away for it. Simple examples, all of them are accurate. 100% one of the best ways to respect your money is to learn these habits, build these skills, and be consistent with them forever. Really, forever. There's no excuse not to learn how to do this. Being financially literate is a blessing. It is something that once you learn it, it just becomes a superpower. I respect money, and I think a lot of people do not. It is something that is going to have a bigger impact on our lives, especially if we do not take the opportunity to prepare for our future now. I'm not saying that every waking moment needs to be focused on tomorrow, but having a plan and sticking to it over the long term will give you the best opportunity to live a nice lifestyle and have everything you need along the way. Simply put, if you respect money, it will take care of you. And that is where I'm going to leave you for today. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really does go a long way for the channel. I really do appreciate the support for you taking the time out of your day to do that, and it does not go unnoticed. And with that being said, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good week. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.